Hey everybody, this is Bryson and I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the Photoshop 101 Working with Layers exercise. So, as with a lot of these exercises, the first thing you need to do is to download the layer tutorial images. So go ahead and click on that. It will show up as a zipped file, which you will have to unzip. I have already done that and it is right here on my desktop. So, step one is to launch Photoshop and go to File Open. So, launching Photoshop. I'm gonna move that here. Okay. So, File, Open, and you might have to navigate to your desktop and then click on the Layers images. Or wherever you saved the file. So we want to open all of these files at the same time. So I'm going to click and drag all of them and then select Open. And now we have all of them open here. You can access them by these tabs up here on the top. Okay, so our next step is renaming and saving a file. So what we're going to do is click on the beachhuts.jpg, go to File, Save As. We're going to be saving this as a Photoshop file with the name first name underscore PS layers. And then in order to change it to a Photoshop file, you're going to need to go down here to this drop-down menu and select Photoshop, and then press Save. Note that I am saving it onto my desktop into the Layers Images folder. And if you look at the folder, that's not it. You see it's right there. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is to copy an image from one file onto another. So the first one we're going to do is the VW bus. The layer that the VW bus is on is currently selected for me, but if not, you just go to the Move tool and click on it, or you can click on the layer and that works too. So in order to copy the image, we go to Edit, Copy, then click on the this one, and then go to Edit, Paste. And now you see that it has been pasted onto here, and we can move it around with the Move tool. We see that it has been added as a layer here, and the next thing that we're going to do is to rename the layer. So double click on it, you see that it highlights blue. I'm going to name it VW Bus. One other thing that you can do is click on the eyeballs and make these layers visible or invisible. We're also going to save our work by doing Control S. Okay, so our next step is to bring in the other images onto our Beach Huts file here. So I'm going to show you a few different ways to copy and paste them over. For one, you can go Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, which basically does the same thing. And for Doraemon, I'm actually going to click and drag him off of the file here and up to the file that I want, and then drag him on, and he just shows up right there. So that's really useful. I like doing it that way. So we also need to change the name of the beach ball like we did with the bus. So I'm going to call that ball 1. And Doraemon, the name has already been changed. I believe that's because we dragged it over and it just copied the name of the layer. So that's convenient. Okay, So we can resize these however we want by clicking and dragging on the bounding box here. So just click and drag and then press enter to save, or to confirm basically. You can move it around, you can just do whatever you want. I kind of like the size of this. Okay, so what we're going to do next is copy this beach ball layer in order to make more beach balls. So I have the ball layer selected. I'm going to right click and then say duplicate layer. And we're going to call this ball 2. And then I'm going to do that again. So it doesn't look like the image has changed, but that's because all of these ball layers are stacked directly on top of each other. So as you can see, you can drag them away and they will separate. And you can just resize all these individually if you want as well. So there's also like a bit of overlap happening because they are there's like an order that they've been placed in. So you can change around the order if you want by dragging each layer and just drag them around in the hierarchy. Okay, I think 3 is enough balls in my opinion. So what we're going to do is create a group to group together all of these beach balls now that we have so many. So select one of them and hold down Control and click the other 2. Then right click on this selection and select Group from Layers. We're going to call this Beach Balls. As you can see, they have been put in a folder, and you can open it by clicking that little arrow and see the contents. You're going to want to take a screenshot of this layers panel right now. So on Windows, you're going to go to Windows key, Shift, and S. Take a screenshot. Make sure you save it, or just that you know where it's going to end up, because you'll have to turn that in. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is to change the opacity of one of the layers. Let's click on one of the beach balls. I think I'll do that one. And then go up to this point right here and change the opacity. I'll start at like 60. Press enter, and as you can see, the opacity of this beach ball has gone down. You can kind of see it's transparent, you can see through it. If you move it around, you can just kind of see this ghostly beach ball. So that's pretty cool. It comes in handy in a lot of different situations. One other thing that I want to mention, if you have found it impossible to resize objects up to this point, it's possible that your Show Transform Controls option is off. If that is the case, you'll only be able to move stuff around, but you won't be able to resize it. So just make sure that Show Transform Controls, this checkbox is clicked on. Okay, on to step 10. We are going to add a bit of text. So to do that, go to the text tool here and click anywhere on the image. Oh, you can do it this way. What I should have done first is clicked this topmost layer. That way the text will appear on top of the topmost layer. Basically, it will be at the very top of my hierarchy, and nothing will be behind it. Okay, so text, click on there. You see we have some placeholder text. It's kind of hard to make out, but if you click away or use the move tool, you can see that it is some placeholder text. In order to edit it, go back, select it with the type tool, and just type in whatever you want. I'm just going to say beach day smiley face. You can change the font by going to this selector here. You can also change whether it's bold if your font has bold options. You can change the font size here. You can also change the color by clicking on this. And you can either use the color picker here, or you can select it from the image. I like this orange. I kind of had it preset, but I'm just going to select that and say OK. I believe it changed. I might have to have had that text selected like I do, so let's try that. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit different. Okay. And you can resize your text and move it around, and then press enter like any other object. Okay, so the last step is to save and quit. So Control S to save. You should be doing that often. And then go to File. In order to save it as a JPEG like we want, I guess we can no longer go to Save As, because that only gives us the option to save it as Photoshop or TIFF or these kinds of things. What we really want to do is to export it. So go to File, Export, Export As. And it brings up this Export As window here. You might have to change it from PNG to JPEG, and then press Export, and it'll bring up this file thing, and then Save As, and that's pretty much it. After that, you can close out. You can save this or not, I don't think it matters. Say no. And you should have a JPEG of your Photoshop file in your folder there. And that's what you're going to be turning in along with the screenshot of your layers panel. Okay, hopefully that was helpful, and good luck on the assignment, and see you next time. Okay, bye.